Me, a small town, regular average girl in this big city. Me, I can afford a PAT McGRATH palette. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Steph, also known as the Freckled One. Today I'm going to be talking about the Mthrshp Mega Celestial Divinity palette from PAT McGRATH Labs. I was so excited to get this because A, it was at a more affordable price, and B, I don't own a single PAT McGRATH thing. If you don't know who PAT McGRATH is, she is a leader in makeup, and her eyeshadow palettes are some of the best top rated in her line, including the duochrome shifty shadows that she is just an expert on. Her brand is extremely luxury. I have yet to purchase anything, like I said, and when I saw that this was coming out and that you could, for an affordable-ish price, get this many shades, I pooped myself. I did this eyeshadow look for today with this palette for the very first time. I hadn't even swatched it yet. If you are interested, keep on watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you end up liking it. All right, so we are starting out with a completely blank canvas. I have nothing on my face right now. I haven't even moisturized. I really wanted to just make sure that in case there was any fallout with the palette that I wouldn't have to worry about any of that and could just wipe it away after. But I literally haven't opened this. I'm so excited to get into it. The PAT McGRATH Labs Mthrshp Mega Celestial Divinity palette. I feel rich. When you open it, oh my goodness. Here's some ASMR for you. So something that I didn't mention before is that this palette retails for $78. That definitely pains me to say because I've never spent that much on any single piece of makeup in my entire life. But if you don't know PAT McGRATH, Mthrshp palettes retail for $125. So when this came out, I immediately was like, this might be the best cost-effective palette, and I would be able to get my hands on her shadows for the very first time with this purchase. So we will see if it is user-friendly for someone like me who's been doing makeup for you know, a few years, but I'm by no means a professional makeup artist. So hoping that this works out, because $78 is still a lot of money. So what I think I want to do is, because I'm wearing all gold jewelry and just looking at this palette, it can be a little bit overwhelming for someone like me who has never tried this formula before. I think I'm just going to play it relatively safe and go in with the more gold tones within the palette. And something that I just realized is that there are only 3 matte shades. We have this one, and this one. So that's something to note. She is, like I said, known for her more shimmery, duochrome, shifty shades. So that's really what this palette is about. So that's not a deal breaker for me. So to start, I think I'm going to go in with this shade, which I believe is Venusian Orchid. I don't know what that means. I'm just going to take my Real Techniques base shadow brush and take some of that. Seems really pigmented. This is going to be so interesting. I didn't say it before, but I do not have eyeshadow primer on. I kind of just wanted to see how these would perform on their own. It looks a lot more pigmented on camera than it does in person. It's a little bit more of like a muted orchid, but I think that looks really nice so far. It's a little difficult for me to blend, if I'm going to be totally honest, but that also could be because I had no base underneath. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade here, which I believe is Bronze. And I'm just going to take that on my finger just because that's typically how I would apply something like this. And I'm just going to put this on the outer edge. That is really, really pretty. I'm really intrigued by this shade. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but it looks like it has a greenish shift to it. And that is the shade Galactic Gold. So again, picking that up on the same finger, pressing that into the center. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can you see that? Baffled. That might be one of the most beautiful shadows I've ever used. Now that I'm seeing what this looks like and that being kind of a really beautiful spotlight, I'm going to take a little bit more of that orchid shade, Venusian Orchid, and put that in towards my inner corner, just to give that spotlight a little bit more oomph. I think next I want to use this shade, which is Lunar Champagne, and just press this towards the inner corner. It does kind of take away that highlight effect, but I want to use as many shades as I can. This one looks a lot like a gold leaf, like the gold leaf effect. It's definitely a little more chunky, which I don't mind. It's just a different type of shadow. I'm so down with this. I'm gonna go back in with the orchid shade and just kind of bring this up just a hair to give me a V shape. By the way, I've used one brush this entire time, which is actually pretty amazing. But with that being said, I am gonna take just a giant fluffier eyeshadow brush and just soften these edges. I feel like I need a little something because I want to get the most use out of this. You know, this isn't for the faint of heart. I think this palette will challenge me to kind of get out of my comfort zone, just kind of on an everyday basis. Let's be real, I'm not going anywhere with quarantine and just trying to be as safe as possible, but because I'm not going anywhere, why not just go all out? So I'm going to use this green shade called Megabyte. It's like a really beautiful green pressed shimmer. Taking that on my same finger, and I'm going to put that on the outer corner to give a little more depth. I think that was a really good choice. It just gives a little bit more dimension to the look. And I kind of want to be adventurous with my inner corner highlight because why not? So I want to use this gorgeous kind of orange and pink shift shade called Cosmic. I'm going to take that on a small pencil brush. Wow, okay. Something else that is so impressive about this formula is that there's virtually no fallout at all, which is very unusual for shadows like these. So I'm very impressed with that. I think I definitely could have gotten away with putting on my base first and then using these, especially because I was pressing them on, but wow. Okay, I'm gonna go put on the rest of my makeup and we can reassess. Maybe I'll do something on the lower lash line, but I will be right back. All right, I am back. I have finished the rest of my makeup. I think after reassessing, I feel good about not having to put anything on my lower lash line, but I do want to add the tiniest hint of a wing just to give me that like lifted look. So Let's try it. I hope I don't ruin everything that I just did. So I'm just gonna take this liner brush, and I think instead of going into the dark brown in here, I want to use this really, really pretty plum shade, which is Venomous Void. So I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of that. I like that because it's not super noticeable, but it does lift a little bit. All right, I think I am done. I am really, truly impressed with how this formula works. I knew that Pat McGrath had great eyeshadows, but I didn't ever think that I would be able to get my hands on a palette. So my final thoughts on this is that I love it. I think that because I don't own anything else that Pat has made, literally nothing else from her line, I think this is perfect for someone like me who has a little bit of knowledge when it comes to makeup. I think this would be a little bit difficult to work with for someone who's brand new to makeup. The shadows definitely take some time to work in. I think if you already have other Mthrshp palettes, including I think the collab that she did with Star Wars, I believe, a lot of those shades are already in here. So for someone like me who doesn't own that, this was so worth it. And at $78, which is still not that nice, I think this was so worth it. I very rarely hit pan, and to get smaller pans of several shades, I just think that was such a good move, and to be able to give access to folks like me who would spend $78 but won't spend $125 on a palette. Maybe if I ever make six figures, I'll dip into that realm. But anyway, this is the finished look. And because a lot of us, if not all of us, have to wear masks for long periods of time, especially for anyone that has work and needs to wear a mask, I think investing in eyeshadows is not as bad as investing in, let's say, like a base product where you won't be able to see any of it anyway. So I give this an A+. I cannot wait to play with the more purples and kind of do an entire green look. I am just really, really excited. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on this palette. Are you gonna get it? Is it absurd? What are your thoughts? Until next time, be safe and be kind.